We ended up picking up 10 baby chicks from the farm store today. They were on sale for $1 a piece, so we just could not resist. Today I am picking some cabbage. I really want to make sauerkraut. I haven't made any yet this year. And I think I'm going to make a big batch and try to can it. I saw it on YouTube. Go figure, I see a lot of things on YouTube. And I wanted to try it out. I like sauerkraut. Frickin' bee. I like sauerkraut. The boyfriend does not like sauerkraut, but I'm going to make a bunch of it anyways, just for me, I guess. Whatever, it's something that I want. So some of our cabbages aren't that big yet. There are some that I'm going to pick that probably could get bigger, but also the bigger they get, the more like bug eaten they get. So I'm just going to pick what I need now. But first, I'm going to pick some kale and some greens for the goats and the chickens. As you can see, our kale is growing very nicely. There are Japanese beetles everywhere. Those just started like 2 weeks ago. It's really annoying. They're eating everything. But we don't eat as much kale as we should, so we always end up throwing it into the animals. Yuck. And feeding them with it. So we're still growing it for a good cause. We have talked about growing less next year, but we'll see. And as you can see, we do have our goats in our chicken pen right now. That is not ideal. It is what it is. We had to put the pigs where the goats were. Now the goats are in with the chicken. But after our garden's done in a few months, we actually will fence that off and put the goats and the chickens out there. So I have 2 cabbages right here that I'm going to harvest. And then I'm going to pull all of these outer leaves off. And those are going to go to the animals also. See how the bugs, the bug poop, everything, gross. This cabbage is not as big as it looked. Oh well, it's what we're using. I already cut it. So once you break everything off of it, they tend to be pretty small. I grabbed 4 heads of cabbage. So I'm going to cut these little stalk pieces off. There is a slug. Gross. Oh, there's a bunch of slugs. Then I'm going to cut the cabbage in half. This is what it looks like. The core is really big. There's really not that much cabbage in here. I can go get more if I need to. And then we don't want the core in there. And then I'm just going to slice it into strips like this. And then I might cut them in half a long way this just to make them smaller pieces. I'm going to put all of these in my sink and rinse them really well with water to get all of the bugs out. And then I'm just going to do that with all of my cabbages. And I have my tripod. I just kicked it so I know it's moving a little bit. I don't have very good areas to film. And I would film outside, but it is very buggy outside. And while I was harvesting these, bugs were getting in my eyes and face and nose, and I just didn't want to deal with that. And it's getting late, so it might be dark by the time I get done cutting all of this up. Alright, so I have all of the cabbage cut and soaking in my sink. I'm going to just start throwing it in this pot. I hope this is enough room. And then I'm going to just pour some salt and do little layers like that. The video I watched, they said they do a tablespoon per head. Their heads might have been bigger than mine, I'm not sure. It's probably more than a tablespoon, don't know. And I'm actually gonna get another container and put the rest of this in there and do the same thing. And then I'm going to let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes to try to get some of the water out of the cabbage so I can start working with it. Alright, so it's been about 10 minutes. And I'm just going to do this to the cabbage, basically. Just going to squeeze it and try to get the juices out because I want this to be covered with its own juice to start the fermentation process. I also want to get these both into one container. So this is all of the cabbage now. It's all in this one pan. You can tell it's done. It was a lot of work, but it's got liquid over the top. You want everything to be under the liquid. Anything not is going to mold. So I'm going to look for something that will fit on top of this to help push it down and keep it under the water. Alright, so this lid looks like it's going to be it. I'm going to push it down to make water go over the lid. And then I'm going to cover this all with a towel so no bugs get in here. I'm going to check on it every single day. The people I watched on YouTube said theirs turned the way they like it after 5 days. So we'll see when I get back with you guys. I do feel like I need like 4 more heads of cabbage because this is not that much after it all broke down. Alright, so it's been 6 days since I started my coleslaw. It is ready. I think I oversalted it just a little bit, but that's fine. I just ate a bunch of it. I didn't think there was going to be enough there to can after I like pushed it all down, but I think there might be like 4 or 5 jars in there. And if that's the case, then I will water bath some of them. If it's only like 3, I'll just put it in the fridge for fresh eating. But I do want to put some of this on my shelf. I am the only one that eats it. And I'm very curious to see what it's like home canned on the shelf. And then after I get them filled with the kraut, I'm going to go back through and add juice. You want to pack it down. Oh yeah, that needs more. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to do the rest like this. So it made 4 jars. I'm just going back and putting liquid in. I'm also going to use my lid lifter, try to get any air bubbles out of there. That one looked good. I don't like canning batches in the canner that aren't full, but this is half full, and I'm just going to make a exception today just because I really want this on my shelf, and the process is so long. I can't just go grab more cabbage really quick, cut it up, and then make this. This was 6 days. Oh shit, making a mess, of course. Why wouldn't I be? But this was 6 days of fermenting. I might make another batch of this. We'll see. We do have lots of cabbage out there, but we do really like just sauteed cabbage too. I do still have a juice and cabbage left, sauerkraut left. I'm going to strain this, and then I think I'm going to use the liquid in my next batch of sauerkraut. I'm going to get these going on my outdoor camp chef. These need to process for 15 minutes. If you were doing quarts, it would be 20 minutes. I'm starting with everything cold. We put our chicks outside. We've had them for a few days now, and these ones escaped. There are more like to the right of me that have escaped. They're hiding under a chair. I'm scaring them. The ducks have been watching the chicks all day. They're very interested in them. So they are done processing, but I noticed that one tipped over. The one that tipped over, I'm going to set aside and keep an eye on it and make sure it seals. It's not even let me grab it. Oh gosh. My jar lifters were stuck on it. It wants to come out upside down, all crazy. But I'm gonna set that one over there. Keep an eye on it, make sure it seals, maybe eat it first. But that is going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later.